the plane. Hard work, work. Sit them on down. Hard work, work. Hard work. The engines are on. Hard work, work. Hard work. The mission is go. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I do it for play. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, hard work. We're on the go. Hard work, hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Ready to go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Put my boots on and lace them up. Hard work, work. Another day to work. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, work. Move on now. Hard work, got to go make the call. Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, work. Get up and let's go to work. Hard work, hard work. You pack up the shoes. Hard work, hard work. You load them up. Hard work, hard work. Manifest. Hard work, hard work. You gotta do it right. Hard work, hard work. And here we go. Hard work, with the sun, I'm ready to rock. Hard work, hard work. I'm earning my pay. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. We can win on out. Hard work, we gotta go and do the job. Hard work, load them up on the airplane. Hard work, in the early morning rain. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. Let me hear. Hard work, hard work. Turn it up. Hard work, hard work. Fire it up. Hard work, everybody on the plane. Hard work, work. Sit them on down. Hard work, hard work. The engines are on. Hard work, hard work. The mission is go. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I do it for play. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, hard work. We're on the go. Hard work, hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. Earn my pay. Hard work, hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, ready to go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Put my boots on and lace them up. Hard work, work. Another day to work. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, work. Move on now. Hard work, got to go make the call. Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, get up and let's go to work. Hard work, hard work. You pack up the shoes. Hard work, hard work. You load them up. Hard work, hard work. Manifest. Hard work, hard work. You gotta do it right. Hard work, hard work. And here we go. Hard work, with the sun, I'm ready to rock. Hard work, hard work. I'm earning my pay. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. We can win on out. Hard work, come on down. Hard work, hard work. The engines are on. Hard work, hard work. The mission is go. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I do it for play. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, hard work. We're on the go. Hard work, hard work, hard work. Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work.
Hello, and we are live, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Soldier of the Hour. Today we have a special guest, which all my guests are special, but this one's even more special because I know her personally. Her name is Sergeant First Class Lorena Whitaker. How are we doing today, Miss Whitaker?
Outstanding.
Well, thank you very much for joining us at the last minute, like usual. Not for you, but I had somebody who canceled on us, and we asked you to step in and fill those shoes, and you graciously stopped in and helped me in a pinch. Thank you so much.
Well, we sure know how to handle when things go dead.
So, real quick, I want to let our viewers know that help me out here. Viewer
discretion is advised.
Thank you. Discretion is advised. My words, man, today they're kind of rough. It's been a long day of talking. But yes, it is a sensitive topic. We are be talking about your job, which is a Mortuary Affairs and a Quartermaster Corps. It's a very sacred job to have, but it's also very scary because a lot of people don't really like to talk about that subject. So if you don't, for my viewers, if you guys don't want to hear about bodies or dead people or people who passed away, especially service members, this is probably not one of the Soldier of the Hours you would want to tune into. So that is my discretion for you guys to talk about and share. This is, again, like I said, very sacred job to hold within our organization. And we have an expert, Sergeant First Class Whitaker, to tell us about your experience in the military doing this job. So without further ado, can you get on it so far?
Well, I am from the island of Puerto Rico, born and raised, got my bachelor's degree, and decided to enlist in the Army. I was going into forensics. I wanted to go into forensics. After a bad breakup, I was like, Army, take me away, and they did. And when I went to MEPS to ask them, hey, do you have I just want to enlist, and they said, okay, we have jobs here and there, and they offered me some good jobs with good bonuses, and I was that little person that went like, do you have anything to do with dead people? And they looked at me like I had a third eye on my forehead, and they're like, give us 1 second. And they went and did their thing on the back and came back and like, well, we have one thing. And yeah, it's called Mortuary Affairs Specialist, and like, sign me up. So I joined as a reservist. I only did one drill. I did not like the reservist life. I needed more after basic training, and I needed more. I needed a 24/7. It was addicting to me back then. So after that first drill, I said, send me to some other place, and they offered me Korea, which it'll be funny later on in this conversation, and or Virginia, Fort Lee, Virginia. And I chose Virginia because I didn't know anybody in Korea. And since then, that was 2007, I came into active duty, and I've served in different duty stations from Fort Lee, Virginia, and the Quartermaster Company, 111th, and then that moved me to Washington State BLM with 3-2 Stryker Brigade, passed to Hawaii and JPAC, now DPAA, Defense POW MI Accounting Agency, followed by where I'm located now, which is Fort Polk, Louisiana, as a liaison, Mortuary Affairs Liaison for 310 Mountain. But currently I'm working as a SHARP representative for the brigade.
Can you,
I'm married, dual military,
whoop,
with
whoop.
3 kids.
Happy birthday, Jonathan.
Under 5. I am insane.
And, yep. You're a superwoman. That's who you are. You're a superwoman. You do it all. And today is your husband's birthday.
Yes.
Happy
and I'm
birthday,
ignoring
Jonathan
to be here
Whitaker.
with you guys.
So we are definitely cutting into some family time. So
That's
just
fine.
to let everybody
Okay.
know,
You were the present yesterday.
just to let everybody know
Sorry.
that this is live. We're live streaming not only YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I'm missing a platform. But we're like 5 different platforms. So ask your questions. Obviously, we are live. Leave them below. If it's personal life, military, job, whatever, we'll answer them. If you're rewatching this, put down hashtag rewatch, and we will still come back to the segment to answer any unanswered questions. So you have a unusual journey. Not only do you have a usual journey, but you are a full-time job worker. You're a mother of 3 little ones. You dual military. Husband's also doing the same thing you're doing, but just a different job. And you have an additional duty, which is something else that we're going to talk about because it's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, other than your job. So if you guys have a question, put down your questions and we will hit them up. So, and just to let everybody know, time zones. She's in Fort Polk, Louisiana. I'm in sunny California. So what made you look into the Army as a career or a job?
I've had family members that have served different wars and through the times, and it attracted me. It was something that I wanted to do, and at that time it was kind of like an go to this quick get away from what I wanted, and it worked, and I wouldn't change it. I always tell people, they always give me different answers when I ask young soldiers why they join, and I tell her any answer is right. I mean, as long as you're here now and you embrace what you're doing and you have respect for your job and your duty, you do amazing, you do great in your career, whether it's 4 years or a 20+ lifer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And then I know you did mention it, but I want to irradiate. I want to talk about it again. Is that you came in with a bachelor's degree? Thank you. And I know. Go ahead and correct me on my words. I understand it's been a long day. So again, everybody,
Hey,
I know
this is a second language.
I know, Sergeant First Class. You're about to learn 3 languages. You're about to speak blonde. But we worked with each other for 2.5 years, and we joke on each other. I love her kids and her family. So you're going to see a lot of our friend relationship come out through the segment. We joke and we pick on each other a lot.
This is part of being a family. I mean, you create your family when you join, and you make your own family. So this is one of those parts in the Army that you will see. This is what happens when you make that family. You're everywhere and you help each other out.
Exactly. And that's why I love you and your family so much. You came in the military with a bachelor's degree. What kind of benefits that help you other than coming in as a specialist? Did it help you anywhere when you were talking to that recruiter?
It just basically helped me with coming with my rank. It really didn't make much of a difference for me. I came in as a specialist. Well, technically, they didn't get my transcripts. That was that. But I just was a little bit smarter, a little bit more knowledgeable when it came to the classes on mortuary affairs when we studied the bones. Well, when we studied the bone structures and how they where in the body. I had taken anatomy and 1 and 2 in college, so it was already knowledge that I had in the back of my head. So it was a little bit of an advantage over my peers, but not behind like some other people that have had to study and gotten their bachelor's while they're in the military, which can be a little bit sometimes difficult because of mission and location and access to, good internet. Like here in Louisiana, we have very poor internet, so that is where you're located. So it can be a challenge later. The point is, it can be a challenge later on in the career to get your education, while I just actually got it before I joined.
Okay. Now, why Army versus Air Force or Navy or the Marines?
Army family stayed the same. They didn't get the other branches, and the lack of knowledge on the other branches and of interest as well. I had a cousin that always talked about Air Force, and I was really not interested to deal or see or be near any airplanes that were very loud. So that's an example of why.
So biology, or was it something else?
And dead things.
And
dead things. I mean, they don't. Dead things don't move. They don't. They stay where you put them. They don't talk back. So it is a nice, peaceful career to go into. To me, I mean, since a little girl, I always liked to open. And I grew up on a farm. I dealt with dead animals all the time, and
farm girls,
just be curious, and I will open it. I would not kill them because that tends to be something else later on in life. But I will find them dead. I would open it. I will see how this of decomposition of some animals that I will find, and it interests me. There's no death is equal. I mean, it can be the same reason, but it's not the same outcome. If that makes any sense.
Well, the makeup is different. I mean, you have two people, same height, same weight, and one of them could be having a missing kidney. And what's the reason why there's a missing kidney? Was it developed? Was it prior taken out? But anyways, the human body is very fascinating. So
yes, it is.
You pretty much picked your job, and you got to go into the military with the job that you have selected. Was it everything that you thought it would be?
No. No, it wasn't. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. And I thought I was gonna go out there, out the line, go to wars and go get those remains out there. And that's not how it works. We we get sent when we're in the collection points with the companies, 111 or 54th, and we deploy. We get sent to what it's called MACPs, or Mortuary Affairs collection points, and they are basically static, meaning they don't move. They're in one location. Normally is by a hospital in a major location out in whatever tactical areas that war we go to. They the units normally are the ones that bring the remains or any deceased to our compound. We don't go out and get them. And I completely thought that we would do the opposite. It was really a little mind-boggling. We did have at some point, at least for Iraq, I served in 2008. We had the collection point. Our deployments are short, only 6 months. I was there from the summer all the way to almost December. 6 months, because it's a hard MOS, and mentally it can be very taxing on some people. So they keep short deployments for us. So we got to engage that time with civilians, Iraqi civilians, to return their family members to them, because at that point we still process the remains of civilians, coalition forces, U.S. service members, civilians. We took care of them. Now, for example, for my last deployment in Afghanistan, we actually only took care of the remains from U.S. service members. We didn't do civilians. We did didn't do local nationals or nothing of that sort. They had a contracting, but we didn't touch them.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
that was unexpected.
We'll dive more into that because I got questions off of that reasoning. Were you worried about basic training?
No, being that I have family, they were like, the only thing that you have to do is just listen to your drill sergeant, say yes, drill sergeant, no, drill sergeant, and just carry on. You'll be fine. And I did that. It's funny because if they hear me now, they probably retire, but they're like, I knew. I would be the drill sergeant that would scream at me, and I will laugh a little bit inside, like, I know you're just doing it for the because you have to do it. You have to, make me into the soldier. But I knew they didn't mean it. I know that, they had the best interest for themselves and the Army and for me to make me into the soldier that I am today. And as a matter of fact, I held the platoon sergeant position, for my basic training little company I had for the longest time. And they gave me kudos at the end. They said, "You're going to be a great leader." I'm like, well, I didn't believe them. I'm like, okay, I'm done with basic. I just want to get out of here. But here I am 14 years later.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, look here, drill sergeant, look what you've created. You've created a awesome person, a hard charging, no nonsense talking NCO that could take over the battle. I'm just saying that you're an amazing person. So for anybody who's wondering, basic training is 9 weeks long with 1 week of reception, and then you have 7 weeks for AIT for this MOS. So once basic training was done with and you transferred, did you have OSET, which is one station unit training, or did you have to travel somewhere else for your job training?
No, I did basic training in South Carolina, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and then AIT was in Fort Lee, Virginia, the Quartermaster, and now Ordnance. So that's where I spent those last couple of weeks in beautiful.
Have you traveled anywhere from Puerto Rico before then?
Say again?
Have you traveled anywhere before then from Puerto Rico, or were you always at Puerto Rico and this is the first time you've traveled?
No, I participated mainly in the U.S. On different exchange programs with high school and then college. I did internships in UCLA and Tufts University in Boston.
Okay, so it wasn't your first time. I get a lot of nervous parents and a lot of nervous high school kids. I've never really traveled, so I was wondering with your travel, going over from place to place, was that an issue for you?
No. It's scary at times when you're by yourself, but I mean, I'm not that type of person. I'm a little bit more outspoken.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna go into that, but as a child, I was very outspoken. I was very.
I wonder why.
It's.
That's what makes you so great. You're no nonsense. I can't curse here. You're no nonsense. You mean what you say.
I like to be very transparent. I like being transparent with soldiers and people. I don't like the poop
people taking advantage
that comes. Yeah, I don't like that. So I said this, and I will tell you as I know and best, and you'll take that information and use it as you will. But I make sure that I will guide you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. You're the SME, subject matter expert in your job field, and you speak for the little people that necessarily don't have a voice, but that are afraid to use their voice. So you will stand up for them. So with that, so the video that the recruiter showed you quite wasn't up to what you're actually doing. So tell me, what did you actually do at AIT? Advanced Individual Training.
And AIT, don't forget the acronyms.
Yeah.
And advanced individual training, AI, we train basically on mostly how to fill the forms when processing remains on how to process and carry and handle remains. There's some ways of how you handle them and how you load them into vehicles and what do you call it, airplanes and different type of vehicles, or like animal bone or whatnot. They tell us how to do, search by grid and do, search in wooded areas, open areas, urban areas, and so forth. They also included a rotation.
Which one?
One of the rotations, the big kid, my husband.
Oh no, Luke. Hey guys, this is a live interview, so life happens, and obviously we have a little one sneaking in.
Yeah. I can't do anything. I'm live. And this is what happens when you marry another service member. My apologies. So we actually, they do a morgue rotation. We do a morgue rotation, and they take us to the Richmond morgue, and we get to actually have that first-hand experience of, what remains are like, how they look like, how they smell like, how they died, because of course every death is different. So you have from suicide to a car crash to self-inflicted wounds, the weapon, decomposed bodies, which smell fantastic, and how they actually, the stages of decomposition and how they, found them. So that's very interesting. And you get to see an actual forensic pathologist doing the autopsy right then and there. And sometimes you get to assist. So it is really awesome for people like me that actually wanted to do that and actually are very hands-on and are just looking forward to working with remains. It was very awesome for me, very, very experienced. So that's like the best part of AIT for me, is being able to see that. And of course that helps see what soldier is out there that still might have a problem. We have one soldier, she fainted after she saw a regular remain. It was a pretty clean remain, and she fainted. So that gives you, like, let's know how to measure a soldier and how they're going to perform their duties in the field. Because if you're dealing with a casualty, you can't drop them. You got to make sure that you'll be able to handle that, and you have the stomach to put up with it and carry on your mission and take them where they need to be, which is back home to their families.
You in a normal morgue, or was this like the morgue that all service members go to?
No, this was we went to the Richmond morgue. It was a civilian morgue. We also they don't do that anymore because of budget issues. They don't have the budget for it anymore. It's like trouble. So that was they showed us around how the over looks like, and how it's set up, and I mean, it's amazing. Analysis and open the gross anatomy and do the autopsies. Then they have like a special room for people that are VIP, like the president and whatnot. And then they have this huge store, basically like a freaking class. What's it called?
It's a clothing store for the military. I got you. It's a clothing store.
Yeah, it's every single award you can think of, any service out there, it's there. Uniform samples, everything that you need, it's there. And it's mind-boggling. It makes you think when you're looking for that award before inspection, you can find that will be the place to find it.
Hey, real quick, we have a live comment from Benjamin Hesipian saying hello, and he is a recruiting out of Seaside, California. Shout outs to
Hola, Benjamin.
There you go. Some brotherly love there. So, hey, go get the good fight, my man. We're almost close of mission, hopefully. So, but so how is going from the schoolhouse to what you're doing at a unit? Because obviously you're not. At Fort Polk, there's not a morgue there. So, how does your job changes from being in that environment to moving down to the lower units or the lower echelons and working for a unit?
So moving from AIT and going straight to a quartermaster unit, well, one of the mortuary affairs units, it was not much of a change. We kept training the same way. We went out in the field, did search and recovery, loaded vehicles with the things that we needed for disaster relief or whatnot, like Katrina, like Haiti. Our unit has helped. Those units have helped in those disasters. 9/11, they were involved. So we did that type of training. Now, going into a different unit, like a line unit, like 310 Mountain or the 32 Stryker Brigade, that's more of a liaison type of my job, which is basically facilitating and giving the knowledge that I have, passing it on to the commander, and basically making sure that they were ready for the mission and how to, be able to tactically arrange their locations when I needed for the support, whatnot, when it came to mortuary affairs. And of course, going down range, I basically was that person that connected the unit with the MACP, the mortuary affairs collection point, and make sure that did QAQC with the soldiers. They brought PE, which is personal effects, and make sure that I had some type of identification for any soldier that was deceased. I will bring it over. I had access to the ISOPREP, which is I don't know if I can discuss that here, but anyways, I had access to their files and I could see their pictures and whatever they had on them that would identify them, and I would take that to the collection point and make some positive identification of those remains. So that's how I assisted. Then going back to DPAA, which is Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency. There I actually got to do that. That's like the top, the cherry on top of the whipped cream, on top of the ice cream. That's the best part of my whole career, because actually that's where we actually got to do our job as that, doing the recovery for the service members that were left behind in previous. And I was sent to Germany, France, and Laos to go get remains, and some of them got identified. So there I actually got to dig. I got to go through dirt. I got to go through trees, branches, everything, and got to find things that showed that the person was there. And furthermore, other team members that were in those teams, they found bones, and made it possible for some of these families to have some closure decades later. So it depends on where you're located and what kind of job you'll have. And now back to which is basically more of a liaison type of logistician and logistics type of work.
All right, so I got to stop you there. So you said some interesting things. From a previous conversation that we had earlier, when you guys were on the expedition trip looking for remains that were left in a foreign destination that we went back to go search for, I don't know if you said that you found it, set of bones that were actually engulfed by a tree.
Yes.
Because it's
so actually it was in two different locations. Go on.
No, please explain more. I'm curious. I want to hear the story again, because
I get too excited. First mission, we went to Germany, and for these type of search and recoveries, people have been doing research for a very long time. They send teams before we go to find exactly witnesses to the event, and maybe pinpoint us to as close as possible to the location that that person was last seen alive. And for this particular one, they told us that the date when everything began was like a couple of clicks down the road. And one of the guys that was with us is like, I go like a leap in the tree line, and when deep inside, somebody would see him, but then he's like, hey, screaming, because he found I would say like a big solid chunk of metal, like it was huge, and it was like melted around the tree and on the ground, and it was really so. The anthropologist, she decided to go in and investigate, and we moved the location where we were going to start to dig to that particular location because it showed that there was proof of life, meaning that the equipment, there's a specialist from the Air Force that specializes in this, and he realized and recognized that it belonged to an aircraft. It was a plane crash incident. They belonged to an aircraft, and we started digging there, and it basically concentrated into this huge tree. And I wish I could show you pictures, but it was this huge tree, and we dug around it. We sifted through all that dirt, and we ended up uprooting the tree. It was a forested area. We had permits, so we have no issues of doing that. And we pick up this tree, we turn it over. The tree, this whole time, I don't know if people have seen trees that when they grow, they tend to engulf whatever's around them. If you don't move it, it will engulf it. This tree had actually engulfed part of the remains of that soldier, and we managed to get it out, and it was pretty awesome. Like, it served part of this soldier 30 plus freaking years after, more than that. I mean, I'm 38, so yeah, decades after from this World War II event, and it was just impressive how it did that. And that soldier got identified, got sent home to his family. There was a second incident, which was a tank incident, which you don't get those that often. And this one was in France, and it was the same. It was a instead of but this one, and I mentioned the whole permit earlier, the owner of the farm, he didn't want his tree uprooted or taken away. So we actually had to dig in certain like different little blocks around the tree and then put the dirt back and then dig again. And I'm like underneath this tree with like swimming goggles, a whole scarf protecting my face, and I'm like going, digging and going through the dirt and getting every single root, giving assistant good
Even though there was a
it
body
was the
down
same.
there?
We found,
Even though you probably identified there was somebody down there.
Well, we know the only reason we know is, like, for example, witnesses. This particular case was a tank incident. There were, I think it was 5 members inside the tank, and I think 3 of them were recovered, but the other 2 weren't. Or the one survived, the other one wasn't, which is the one that we were looking for. And after all this time, just between time, weather and everything, he just got disappear within the tree, the roots and everything. So it's nature can be pretty hard, but it also can be pretty impressive on what it can do.
Were you there for start to finish for both cases?
Say that again?
Were you able to be there to the start and finish of both cases, the airplane and the tank?
Well, yeah, we closed the site. We opened the site and we closed the site. Once we identified and collected enough remains and to make possible identification, we closed the sites and go home. And after we did that, Germany, we went to another mission and helped out the other team that was looking for another set of remains. That one, I don't think it. So we closed the site and we got to go home. I don't want to say early, but this process too. From different countries, there's certain treaties and I'm not gonna say memorandum of understanding, but some kind of understanding that you have to have with a country. And when it comes to repatriating remains and getting remains out of that country, France was one of those that was a little bit more difficult to get remains out, even though they knew that it was a possibility that was one of our guys.
Wow, interesting. So I have a question that we had earlier on this week when we were advertising your job duties. Now, where was it? What are some misconceptions of your job that people have assumed or asked?
One of them is that we take care of funerals, or that we are those that present the flags to family members, and that we are always doing those funeral details, and we don't do those, or that we're the ones that go door to door to tell the family members, hey, this is your husband, wife, brother, sister has passed, and we're sorry, and that's a whole speech for it. But we don't do that.
Okay. Now you obviously this is a very emotional and mental draining job because you're dealing with deceased service members. As you know, dealing with a deceased person is hard, but then you're dealing with your brother or sister of arms. So that plays another emotional toll. What does the Army do for you to help you through that?
Well, there's different services for us. We definitely are always encouraged to talk to behavioral health and or somebody like military family life consultant to help us, release all the stress that we might have in our heads, or maybe just the information that we carry in our heads, because some people remember for too long, or can get a new image of their head, and it's sometimes very good to discuss it, and not just with you, but with peers as well. We are very close MOS. We are very small, so we kind of like know each other most of the time. So it's a tight little community, and we try to have each other's back when it comes to that. And as long as we see and identify that somebody might be having some issues, we'll make sure that we take care of them by sending them to the proper services.
Okay. Now with that, since you said that it's a very small community, and since I know you, you're a one-show woman. Obviously, you are, you work for the commander and you're his liaison for matters of this. Is it like that everywhere else? Is it a two-man show? Is it a team? Is it a platoon? Or is it a company? Like, how are you broken up and working as a group or a single identity?
So there's, to my knowledge so far, there's only 2 active duty mortuary affairs companies. They are located in Fort Lee, Virginia, 54th and 111th. There are several reserve units and National Guard units. And those are concentrated on doing the mortuary affairs portion. When it comes to division level or brigade level, normally there's one MTO position for a mortuary affairs NCO, from E5 to E7, depending on what level you are, from battalion to brigade to division. And like me, for example, here in Fort Polk, I'm the only one here in Fort Polk, but there's only one line unit in Fort Polk, and for them, one need for having me. Whereas if I were in for drum, for example, they have the other brigades up there, then they will probably have one per brigade, and definitely one slot division level, or a sergeant first class, or master sergeant to Mike. But that varies per unit and whatever the requirements are.
Okay. Now I'm going to jump around real quick, and then I'm going to go to one of our questions that we have that was asked earlier on this week. Now, I think this is also a misconception because this is what I thought too. When do you get to do autopsies? Now, I know you do a lot of administrative work, but if you were ever able to go back to Fort Lee, Virginia, would you be able to assist, or is that something an officer or a civilian contractor? When will an autopsy would be appropriate?
So the mortuary affairs units, they have a memorandum of understanding with the Richmond morgue, and I think they have one close to Norfolk or for Eustis. But at least for when I was there, they had one with Richmond morgue, and we would send a team of about 14 soldiers to go and work at the morgue and get their hands on, and help out the morgue with whatever they needed, from cleaning to sometimes if you earn their trust and you've seen that, to assist with autopsies. So that's like the only time that we actually get to do, but that's with civilians. We get to do or work with the remains of service members. I believe there's a couple of MTO slots over at Dover, but it's not like the norm that we got a big team of people that are Army Mortuary Affairs up there, unless my branch manager is lying to me. But there's that's pretty much it. It's just I think the MTO slot for SRM first class over at Dover. Most of the people that work out there actually, and surprise, surprise, are actually Air Force. If I had known, I probably would have
I'm
joined the
glad
Air
we got
Force.
you. You're stuck now in the Army.
I
Not
wouldn't
going
change it for
nowhere.
the world. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change it. Even knowing the different branches and our other brothers and sisters, I like the Army. I love the Army, and I didn't. I guess I drank the what is it, the fruit punch,
What?
the
I
happy
didn't pick
juice.
it up. What you drink? Are you drinking the coffee? Is
I'm
that what
bad
it
with
is?
sayings.
So, can I? So, since it handles by civilians, can I? This is a misconception, question. Can I commission as an officer and be an MD and do autopsies if this is something I was interested in doing?
So we actually have the Army Medical Examiner. He is a colonel in the Navy, and he actually works out in Hawaii at the PAA. They have him there, and then of course I think there's a colleague of his over at Dover. So there's some officers that can perform their duties as uh, as a forensic pathologist at that level, but not in RMOS and not in the Army. And they gave them the identifier of Fort Victor, and they have a light rotation. I would say a light rotation through what the life of a mortuary affairs person is and what happens. But other than that, you don't see many officers actually getting down and dirty when it comes to doing this job, especially downrange.
Okay, so can you compare the difference between? So this is a question that we had earlier on in the week. It goes about, if I can find it. Is there a difference in the way that you do your job when you're deployed in the field or in garrison environment?
For here, yeah, for casualties in the brigade, I don't get to go and pick them up and process them. I don't do that here. There's certain people that specialize in that, and it stays in their hands. I go to exercises like with the brigade and how to when they go to the field and do field exercises. I would go with them and set up a mock MACP, and I would run it by myself, which in real life you need more people to do that. And it would just be like a play along, so you know how it will work in the field and how processes will be done before coming to have any casualties, any deceased personnel. Now, when we deploy, of course, that's when things get a little bit more grim, and when we start having casualties, that's when I get into action. All times when I deploy, I have like 7 different hats as well, because if I'm not busy, then of course I have to think to help the unit out. So I've done transportation, I've done transportation, ammunition, and they knew that as soon as there was an incident and they knew there were casualties on their way, I put my 92 mic head on and nobody would bother me because I just had one mission to do, and that was taking care of the service members. And from there, it was for me to talking to the unit, making sure that they knew what they needed to do with those remains that were into, to talking and coordinating with the collection point at the same time, telling them, hey, you got remains inbound, making sure that who they assigned the SCOMO, which is the summary court martial officer, so they can do the collection of the personal effects from that soldier, and so on. And they changed that as well. But at least for back in OEF and OIF, they my 2 deployments for Iraq and Afghanistan, they had we deal with wounded and KIA, so we would collect the personal effects of those that were wounded in action. And process them to send them back home. And that was basically a lot of the majority of the things that I had to do and process were wounded in action, personal effects, from prepping them, sure that they're taken care of. JPET, personal effects depot, or I think they move it to Dover. They're the ones that actually take care of cleaning, processing the personal effects, making sure that everything is accounted for, wiping up necessary information like intel or anything of that sort. If we didn't catch it back downrange, they would do it. So it is definitely a different scenario and different situations that happen downrange compared to CONUS or here in the continental United States.
So I have a little push in, or I don't know how to say it, but I have a little. So last time we talked, we did this whole conversation once before, and the video didn't save. And there is actually a very good Hollywood movie out there called Taking Chance Home, I think. I forget who the main actor was. It might be Tom Hanks. But it describes what the process movie, and if you guys are curious how well and how honored we take care of our men and women going home, it's truly amazing video to watch. So how long does it take for when a casualty happens for you to process them to get them home?
We send those remains within 24 hours of the incident happening. We get them out of country within those first 24 hours. They can't stay longer. We should that we put enough ice in them so they can make it to the next destination. And we try to preserve the remains the best we can in order for the families to be able to have an open casket if possible, and be able to see loved ones one more time.
Okay, so I want to remind our audience this is a live video, so ask your questions. We have just a little bit more time with Sergeant First Class Whitaker about her job. I have a couple questions I want to kind of rapid fire at you that we had earlier this week, if you don't mind. So real quick, what advice would you give someone who's looking into this type of job career field?
Do it because you want to do it, because you care about the soldier and the families. If you just want to do it because you think you're cool or you have this idea in the back of your head, please don't. This is a very serious, and it's very upsetting when you have somebody that doesn't take this as serious, and we have to take care of our own. We have to take care of their families. They gave they sacrificed their life for this country, and we owe it to them to make sure that we treat them the best way possible. So it's something that you really, really want to have it and do. I've experienced people in my career field that did not have that respect and that for this duty with this job that we had, and I did correct a couple of them, and some of them, I was too young a soldier to figure that out yet, but I always thought in the back of my head, I don't want to be that person. They deserve more than that. So just be serious about it and make sure that you really want to do it.
What advice would you give a new or young private or lieutenant going into basic training or OCS?
Just do what you're told. You be where you need to be at the right time with the right uniform, and you'll be peachy. I mean, there's nothing. This is a very easy thing to do. You just have to follow orders, respect your peers, subordinates. Your leadership is always respect around, and you'll be all right. Just follow suit and put your hand down if you have to when you see those drill sergeants. Walk away when they tell you to walk away. and drop when you need to drop. Don't ask why, just do it. You'll get the best out of it, and it'll be one of the best experiences you ever have.
Okay, so we know that you came in with a bachelor's, so obviously you're a very educated woman, but you have access to tuition assistance, the TA, and then you also have access to your GI Bill. Do you see yourself using tuition assistance to go get your master's degree while you're in? And do you
Nursing, but that backfired when the college missed my transcripts, and then I had to resubmit it again, and then I just held it for the moment because then I got pregnant. So a lot of things got put on hold. But yes, I do see myself using those and getting my master's, and hopefully, possibly before I leave, start on my PhD.
Well, let me know. I'll babysit the kids while you need to study. Okay. Do you feel like you're going to give your GI Bill to the little ones? Because after you stay in for 10 years, you could transfer your bill to either your spouse or your kiddos.
We have managed to be very, very well financially, that we have set up college funds for them, for all kids. So they might need it, they might not. Right now, I'm not considering doing that for them. They can work.
Okay. Feel our pain. Okay. How is it?
Horrible mother.
Right? Hey, we had to work through our lives, not so easy, Anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent. How is it to be dual military? Is it tougher or easier raising your kiddos?
Well, that part that was gonna bite me in the behind about going to Korea, I'm going, and this is gonna be one of our most difficult times in my career, in my life, and in our marriage, because it's almost a deployment. I'm gonna be gone for a whole year away from my family, and we are actually looking into our family actually being split completely and sending our kids to a whole nother state. So it'll be my husband here by himself, me going to Korea, and my kids going to my mother-in-law's in another state. So it's gonna be a very interesting year, and it is what it is. I mean, it will be the same way if I was to go deployed.
2020 just keeps biting. Man, 2020 needs to just get out.
2020 is easy go.
So do you feel like you have enough family time with the kiddos and the husband, or do you think that the work takes over your life?
My work does take what I do now, which is basically I'm the sexual assault response coordinator for the brigade. It can be very varied, the times that I have to be at the office. Sometimes I get called on the weekends. Sometimes I'm like working super late, working with a case. Or sometimes it's too early in the morning that I don't even get to go to sleep because I'm still working on a case. So when I can get my moments off and my days off, or like some time off, or get out of work early if I can, I'll try to do that and spend time with my family and kids. I definitely enjoy when we have 4 days or a long weekend, or a short day. I enjoy, sure that I enjoy and spend time with the kiddos and my husband, and go fishing and do the things that we like to do.
That's right. You guys just got a monstrous catfish last weekend, right? Bigger than Luke.
I sure did. I always get the biggest one.
Wait, was that yours? I thought Luke pulled that one in.
No, I pulled the biggest one. He pulled
it
the
was
second
like
biggest.
big. I know you guys can't see from the screen, but hold out your hand. Yeah, there you go. It was that. Hold out your hand, Lorena.
It was super big.
That one, that big.
Wait.
Other hand.
I'm dyslexic.
That hand. There you go. It was that big. So I love her kids. I babysit when her youngest was born, and I rightfully got to nickname her forever in her life to be called TBD. So we are a very close family, even though we're not from the same area or, you know, blood related,
Or
but
the
you'll
same
forever
background or nothing.
nothing. I'm just this little, you know, California chick that can't use her words right, and here you are, some educated girl from Puerto Rico that loves to speak her mind and hold everybody accountable for it, which we appreciate immensely. And we united over game night, and you know, I'm going to be auntie for the rest of the kids' life. So, by the way, do you guys own your home?
You're stuck with us.
I know, and you're stuck with me. Do you guys own your home, and did you guys use the VA home assistance to purchase your house?
We did. We bought our house, and we did go through we used a VA loan. If you work your cards properly, and this is important that I tell the soldiers when they come in, make sure that you are getting your paychecks. Make sure that they're going to your bank account and nobody else's. Make sure that you start planning on retirement. You might be young and not thinking about later on in life, but start planning on retirement and putting some money aside for rainy days. Work on your credit. Is a bad credit. There's also something called the Soldiers Relief Act, I believe it is, SCRA, and you know, they work with your loans. They will give you lower percentages. There's things out there. There's tools out there that you can use in order to put your finances in place. And that's one of the reasons we got a good home with a good offer and very low percentage, and we managed to do that. And we are homeowners. Yeah. And I have excellent credit, and you know, I came with a lot of. I didn't come with college debt. I actually they had grants that pay for my college, but I was not educated when it came with about money and credit cards. So it wasn't until I actually met the chaplain and he talked about TSP that I started thinking of like, oh, I can actually invest. I can actually put my money away for better use. And you know, I started working with my bank and getting my credit score fixed, which is important if you're going to hold a security clearance and for some jobs. So definitely you have to work on that.
Yeah. If you have bad credit, the Army will help you build it up. There's that VA home loan that you're talking about. There's that small business loan. There's so many benefits of just doing, you know, one contract in the military. Even if you're not going to make it a career, you're going to get the same. So use the military as a stepping stone. Get some real life experience. Get that job training, that certificate, you know, that life knowledge, and then use what benefits we have to go pursue whatever else that's interesting for you. But I think everybody should have at least one term of service in the military just to see what it's like. So, all right, we're coming at the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Sergeant Whitaker. Do you have any other, like, do you have any shout outs? Do you want to leave your soldiers with some wisdom? You want to sing happy birthday to Jonathan? Is there anything you want to leave us with?
No, I will let you know that something. Be prepared to handle anything and everything. I have been in situations when I had to process a friend, and I had to be in a situation when I actually had to translate for a mother of a soldier that I processed. So life and my career put me in those situations, and at moments that some people would have just, you know, turned around and walked away, I made sure that I put my best face forward and did what I needed to do. Did it tear a little bit of me inside, of course, but it made me a better person and made me better to understand how can I be better in the future for others. So do whatever career you join the Army to do, make sure that you do the best, and you know, be proud of what you do and take interest in what you do. Yes,
there's
ma'am.
that little one.
I'm on the phone. Give me a second. Yes. But yeah, just the Army is one thing. Just be proud of what you do every single time, and if it's just taking the trash out, hey, do it right, do it the right way, and take honor and be proud of what you do.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys, this is concluding our Soldier of the Hour. We had our very lovely Sergeant First Class Lorena Whitaker I want to leave you guys all the same thing. I know she said it, but you're going to hear me say it. For our new soldiers coming into the Army, all you have to do is be at the right place, be in the right uniform, and be on time. If you can get those 3 things done right, you're going to be an excellent soldier for the military, okay? Do everything that you can do to the best of your ability. Again, we have probably another hour of just talking about your job. I can keep a straight face. I'm sorry. We have another hour to talk about our job, because for an hour we can't get into every aspect. And I really wanted to showcase that you truly are a Wonder Woman. Full-time job, military personnel, taking care of soldiers, and you're growing your family, living life to its fullest. So you're doing it all, and you're a success story. So thank you so much for doing this. She can jump on. Until next time, you guys, be safe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As you're like elbowing your daughter, like, get out. Again, you guys, if you have any questions, leave them below and we'll get to them. You guys have a safe day, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, you guys.
Doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what I say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. To go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Put my boots on and lace them up. Hard work, work. Another day to work. Hard work, work. Hard work, that's what they say.